All right, let's answer some questions. Here's a question that somebody emailed me, and it's definitely representative of a lot of questions that I get. I love books, and I feel that I'm missing my calling by not writing one, but I'm busy all the time. How can I find the time to write a book? So here's the simple truth, and it's an uncomfortable truth in a lot of cases, but it's simple and it is true, I think, that we all have the same 24 hours a day. We all have the same amount of time to spend, okay? And so when we say that we don't have time to do something, what we're really saying, in effect, is that all of the time that I have, which is the same amount of time that everybody else has, I am already spending on other things. And it's important to make this distinction, to say it in this way and think of it in this way, because it reminds us that we have the ability to choose how we spend our time. There may be sacrifices that we make by spending it in one way or another, opportunity costs by making that decision of how we apply the hours and minutes and seconds that we have each day. But we all have that same amount of time, and looking at it as something that we have to spend reminds us that we get to choose how we spend it. And if you are finding yourself short of time with which to write a book, there's no way to get more hours per day than 24. But if your hours are already being spent, that means that you can look at how you're spending that time and then reallocate it to the writing of books. Now, just because you can do this doesn't mean that you want to. I hear people telling me a lot that they think they have a book in them, and that's great. If you really want to write a book, write a book. But if you're sitting and thinking, I would like to write a book, but all of these other things that I'm currently spending my time on are more important than sitting down and writing a book, which is kind of what you're saying if you're not finding the time to write a book, I would say take a look at that and figure out, is this true? Is it true that these other things that I'm spending my time on are more important than writing a book? And if so, stop worrying about it. I would say stop tormenting yourself about this idea that you need to sit down and write a book, because if these other things are more important and you would prefer to continue spending your time on these rather than sitting down and going through the long, arduous process of writing a book, I think you've made your choice. I mean, the opportunity cost then, the math works out in such a way that it's not worth your time to spend it writing a book. It's better spent writing something else, or watching Netflix, or reading books, or spending time with your family. Like, there's so many other things that you could be doing with your time that are perfectly legitimate. And there's no reason that you need to feel that your time is wasted if you're not spending it on this thing that you have perhaps no reason to believe that you would actually enjoy doing. The other thing to remember too is just because you enjoy something doesn't mean that you have to make it your career. Just because you enjoy books doesn't mean that you have to write a book. If it's something that you're really passionate about, then you will make the time. You will take time away from something else in order to create that book. But if it's not something that you're passionate about and you just enjoy reading books, that's great too. I mean, I enjoy reading books as well. I spend a lot of my time writing, but I spend a lot of my time reading as well. And I'm not going to take time away from reading to go write. I've got my priorities lined up, and reading is a big priority. So if reading is a priority, that doesn't mean that you have to write as well. You could be an excellent reader and take that knowledge and share it with other people, or just enjoy the worlds that it helps you create in your head. If you want to support the writing craft and support authors, there's other things that you can do. You can share books with other people, hand it off once you've read it. Go leave reviews on Amazon. I mean, rant and rave. Become a cheerleader for authors instead of becoming an author, if that's what makes more sense for your priorities. Let's see, here's another question that I get asked a whole lot as well. A friend of mine is a hoarder and could really benefit from minimalism, but anytime I try to tell her about minimalism, she gets all defensive. How can I make her see that minimalism can help her live a better life? So, something that we have to acknowledge here is that no lifestyle choice, no philosophy, no belief system, no anything is right for everybody. I think that minimalism is something that's very helpful for most people because it's so broad. I mean, all it means is taking a look at what's important and then deciding within that context, knowing what's important, deciding what is not important, and spending fewer resources, time, energy, money, everything, on those unimportant things. That said, not everybody's going to find value in that. Not everybody has the same worldview. Maybe some people enjoy wasting their time, which, you could argue the semantics of it, that is actually being minimalistic, because then you're prioritizing wasting your time. But the fact of the matter is that by forcing people to look at the world in the way that you look at it, by trying to foist upon them your beliefs, you're kind of doing the same thing that like missionaries did back in the day when they were traveling the world and educating the savages and teaching them the one true faith. There's no reason that we need to proselytize anything that we believe in. And in fact, by proselytizing, we kind of weaken our argument. It makes it look kind of flimsy because it feels like this idea doesn't sell itself. If it was actually something worth believing in, you wouldn't need to force it on anybody else. You wouldn't need to push it so hard. My advice would be to stop trying to make other people believe this. I know that you have the best intentions. Everybody does. Everybody with any religion or belief system or philosophy or whatever that tries to force it on other people typically has the best of intentions. But that doesn't change the fact that you are coming in such a way that it comes across as arrogant. It says, I have found the truth and you have not, so submit to the truth that I have found based on the way that I see the world. The better way to do it is to make the information available to people if they want it. If they come to you and say, hey, what are you doing that makes you so happy? Make it available. That's the best way that you can spread the good word of this thing that you've discovered without coming across as self-conscious and without being that jerk who says, I have found the truth, your truth is not as good as my truth. And then all you have to do is go live a good life. Just be happy. Be happy, enjoy life the best way that you know how, whatever that happens to mean to you. And then if people come to you, make that information available without being pushy. Don't try to sell it, don't try to market it, don't try to do anything. Just go live a good life. And beyond that, it's not your responsibility to try to push one worldview or one philosophy or one anything else on anybody else. That is actually counterproductive to what you're trying to accomplish. Have a question you'd like me to answer in a future video? Awesome. You can ask it in the comment section below. You can send me an email. You can reach out on other social media, on Instagram or Tumblr or Snapchat or whatever. My name pretty much across the board is @ColinIsMyName, just Colin Wright on Facebook. You can also leave me a thumbs up like. You can share this video or you can subscribe to my channel. That is also very much appreciated. And if you want to find out more about me and my work, you can go to colin.io and find out all about me, the stuff that I'm doing, see some of the talks that I've given, and see the full list of books that I have written.